Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God Chapter 454, or Season 3, Episode 37. So I'm doing this and Chapter 455 separately. I'm going to do Chapter 455's review right after this, and I'm recording both of these just after reading 456. So I'm going to try to keep my thoughts on all three of them separate, to do their own separate things with so that they don't bleed into each other too much. But all three of these were really, really good, so I'm glad I'm finally getting time to discuss this. I just know that this is probably going to be kind of a long review, but 455's review is going to be really long. That's why I didn't decide to put them together into one video, because 455 just so much happened. Now, I actually think that out of the three, 456 is maybe the weakest of the three. Not that it's not really good, it is, but like 454 is really, really good, and 455 is probably almost really close to a perfect score, just because what more can you ask for like a first chapter starting off an arc? There's just so much content involved there. But either way, let's spend some time. Let's talk about 454 for a while. So this is basically the send-off to the Yama and Cage and Evankel side of the story, at least for now, before we start off the next arc with Bomb's group at the wall with the sleeping Forget-Me-Not next chapter. So this is kind of the send-off for this part of the story, and I thought it was a really good send-off. We got a lot of things wrapped up, but also left a lot of things open-ended so that when we come back to this storyline, we're going to be getting a lot more answers with all this. So yeah, I thought it was a great send-off. We start from the very beginning, seeing what we saw toward the end of the chapter in 453. Not talking just about the recap, but we continue on from the recap into some stuff that carries on the similar theme they were going for, which is that though Yama was like, I'm selfish, I'm all alone, but I do everything I do for the canine people, he wasn't really alone. His people appreciate and respect him, and him not being alone is really the main theme here. One of the funniest things about it, though, is Kanzo being really concerned, like, Lord Yama, you're hurt, what happened? And Jordan just hyping him up, like, he probably just beat himself up in order to wake himself before he fights. So I love Jordan hyping him up the whole time while Kanzo's actually seriously concerned. Also, Yusracha's cool. Of course, we know from the end of the chapter before this one that Yusracha was chosen by Zahard to head out here because Yusracha can control the canine people in this way. And, of course, Zahard saw everything coming because even though he can't, directly see the future, I don't think he can see fate, whatever that's meant to mean. The flow of Shinsu and life and all that. But Yusracha immediately recognizes Doom. He immediately sees him and he's like, oh, hey, it's Doom. Doom, interestingly, though, he knows of Yusracha. He obviously knows his name. We saw it in the one little quick flashback for him that time. He obviously knows the name, and he's able to realize, given the context of what's happening, oh crap, that guy must be Yusracha. But it's not like he looks at him and he's immediately like, oh, that's Yusracha. So it's not like, it doesn't seem like he knew exactly what Yusracha looked like. But given the context of things and how he was addressed, Doom was like, oh crap, that must be Yusracha. Shit has gone bad. From there, we see a bit of Yusracha's power in the physical sense, and his power looks similar to Doom's and what's going on with his, except it's a bit lighter in color. Kelhelm, though, didn't know this. He did not know that Yusracha could control the canine people, which is another interesting thing. Kelhelm had this whole plan, everything he was going to do, and then the counter to his plan, which was to get the army of the canine people and to defend the wall, the counter to that plan is a person who can control the canine people. And of course, because Zahard can see the predictions, can see fate like he does, Zahard predicted his predictions and was able to send Yusracha, which again, just another level of big brain plays, which was pretty cool plot-wise. So, yeah. Yusracha just generally turns the canine people on each other. It seems as though it's the sort of thing, though, where I compared it a little bit to Kabuto's control of the Edo Tensei in Naruto, where it seemed like And to this point, it seems like he needs to focus to do it. It's not some passive ability that he just turns on or off. It seems like he has to actually control it. Because we saw he turned them to start attacking each other, but then Kanzone got awareness of what he was doing, then he controlled Kanzone a bit more, so it seems like he has to actually focus on a person to control them. The same going for Yama, and I guess the stronger person must be the difficult, I would assume and imagine it would be to control them. Because we saw he controlled Yama, had Yama attacking himself, but when he turns away to control other people, Yama now has control over himself again. Also, when he was just taking over people, he didn't immediately just take over Doom, and Doom is one of the most powerful ones, so to me it just seems like it's one of those things where it's not a passive ability, it's something that Yusracha actually has to focus on to be able to do, which limits his control a little bit and keeps him from being too OP while keeping him as a really strong antagonist. So all of that was good. We see next up, Yusracha, in addition to controlling people, is pretty strong just by himself because he's able to block Evankel's flame from Evankel's rare orb. So he's strong just on his own, able to block that. But he then controls Kanzone, puts Kanzone in front of Evankel, saying, okay, this is your fight now. I'll fight you personally, but only if you burn up this guy. So of course Evankel, being a good person, I mean at least to a certain degree, Evankel's a good person at least to the degree that she's not going to kill her own ally, right? Like she's not going to kill her own ally just in a, okay, fine then, burn him up and then move on to Yusracha sense. So Evankel, of course, is sort of refusing to kill her own ally at this point. From there, Yama steps in with full, complete transformation, and it seems like... Okay, yeah, never mind. The next point in my notes was to make sure I talked about it seeming like Yusracha's power was wasn't a passive ability, but something that Yusracha actually had to focus on to control, or else Yama and some of the others wouldn't be able to do the things that they're doing. They would just be controlled all the time. It's something that Yusracha actually has to try to accomplish. So yeah, Yama steps in with the complete transformation. That was basically the first half of that chapter, or maybe even a little bit over half, but the second part of this chapter was like really meaty, so I have a lot more notes on it, or at least just more notes on it. But the rest of the chapter, we go from the wrap-up of what's going on with that other side of the story to transitioning to show Calivan and Bomb's group a little bit. Now we really start this new arc next chapter, but we get a little bit of transitionary stuff here that's pretty cool. So Calivan showing up to the other wall, or other part of the wall is how they put it, because it is all one big wall, but it's just separated into different parts that are, I mean, for the sake of a physical sense, separate walls. But Calivan shows up there, attempts to join the wall guard, saying, hey, I'm a soldier in Zahard's army. Or maybe an ex-soldier, I don't remember what the exact thing he told them was. But he's like, basically, let me join the wall guards. And they're at first like, why would we let some reject soldier join us? Until Calivan shows off that he is strong as hell. So we get a flashback over to Military HQ. We see Kesa the Furious. Now, I wasn't able to find any information on if we had seen Kesa before, but I really feel like we have. We saw a character, or maybe if it wasn't Kesa specifically, we saw a big floating head character like that before, I'm sure of it. I don't remember if they were... I don't think they were talking to Popet Augustang. I think they were talking to Shua Arthur when we saw them before, but I definitely remember seeing a big floating head character like that before. I really should have. I forgot to go and do some more research and pour through some older chapters to try to find it. I can do that maybe after this and then update you on it in a future video. But yeah, I swear we've seen either Kesa or a character that looks a lot like Kesa in the past. And I think when we did, they were talking to Shua Arthur, but I'm not sure. All I know is that it's familiar enough that I feel like I've seen it. In Tower of God specifically. But Kesa refers to Adori Zahard a lot, referring to the commander-in-chief, which we know to be Adori, and says that he thinks that Adori let Calivan off easy by only having the oath tying his left arm and being demoted to a regular soldier. And Kesa thinks that he should have been punished even more for disgracing Zahard's army the way he did by not completing his mission at the last station. But he's being given a special operation from Adori. Even though he's being demoted, he's being given a special operation. So the special operation is going to involve both Calivan and Yasracha, and each of them are being sent to a wall that's holding a powerful enemy. So the goal for them is to free the person trapped in the wall, and then either subdue them or slay them. So yeah, that is the goal there. They mention a lot, too, that the reasoning behind this, because Calivan's like, why do this now? What's the point of this now? Why break the peace now? Not that he disagrees with breaking the peace, because of course Essence of Meathead, but what's the point right now? And Kesa explains that basically, at least as far as Adori's concerned, war is going to be happening anyway. And if war is going to be happening anyway, they need to eliminate the enemy's strong warriors, which is very smart, actually. But yeah, if war's going to be happening anyway, why not just kill the warriors trapped in these walls before it can start up? So a lot of the reasoning behind the belief that the war is starting up is that there's a lot of tension within Zahard's empire itself right now. The 10 families are tense with each other because the Pobedao family is like totally ruptured their ties pretty much. We've seen that one of the 3 orders that have been more or less sort of kind of forgotten, at least a little bit, is that kill the regulars. They failed to do that. Kill the FUG. Failed to do that, or kill the Pobedao family. So that would definitely start a rupture with them. And the Ha family is also upset with the Empire. The Ha family is upset at Yuri's treatment. Now, we don't know how Yuri has been treated yet, whether she's a prisoner, whether she's received some sort of demotion or been stripped of her title of princess or something. I don't even know if you can be stripped of your title of princess. But whatever Yuri's punishment is, or however she's treated, the Ha family is upset at it. Or maybe it's just the fact that they even thought she was a traitor at all, and the Ha family's just being really serious about this. Like, how dare you accuse our lovely daughter who's working with FUG of being a traitor? Or at least tangentially working with FUG for that one arc. But yeah, Ha family's upset too. And Dodori believes that the center of all of it, the core of all this that's going on, is Bomb, is the irregular that Calivan let escape. And because of this, they think that the Anti-Zahard Alliance might return. And of course, the Anti-Zahard Alliance, we learn a little bit more here, so I won't get into it totally with this review, but it's basically like FUG was this group with their own personal reasons to dislike Zahard's army, and I think it was 256 where we learn more about this. But yeah, FUG has their own problems with Zahard's army. But beyond that, there were also people who were like, yeah, we don't want Zahard just coming in here and saying, yeah, I'm king now, the Empire controls everything. So those people will have joined up with FUG in order to try to fight back against the Empire. But yeah, basically, that's when we get the explanation that Adori believes war will happen anyway, so right now they need to attack the walls and eliminate those warriors before the war happens, to weaken the Anti-Zahard Alliance's forces before war even happens. And at the very, very end of the chapter, Bomb's group arrives at the area with the wall with the sleeping forget-me-not. So, yeah, I love this chapter's world building, and I don't know what else to call it other than, like, quote-unquote political stuff, where we're learning about the relations between the 10 families, how war is coming, and how they need to take out some of the strength of the Anti-Zahard Alliance. I like a lot of that world-building, political kind of stuff. I thought it was a really good and really exciting chapter, and like I said about the first half of it, I thought the first half was a really, really good way to send off the Yama side of things, sort of sort of leaving it at a place where it feels like, yeah, I'm satisfied with where it's left at. I don't have to see it for a good few more chapters, but also leaving it open-ended so when we do come back to that storyline eventually, we'll have a lot of cool stuff that we'll get to see. And also just the pacing of it I think is quite good. The first half of it was this, or the first part, I don't know if it exactly splits into half and half. The first part of it wraps up that storyline. Second part of it, since we don't need to spend a whole chapter on transitional stuff before the next arc, second half of this was that transitional stuff, so that 455 we can just start off with the new arc. So yeah, this was very good. I would give it a 9. I said 9? Yeah, 9 special operations out of 10. I really enjoyed this one personally. But I liked 455 even more, so I'm going to record the review for that one directly after this and post it probably as soon as possible directly after this. So keep an eye out for that one coming not too long, maybe a few hours after this one, or if I don't get this one up until late at night, maybe not until the morning after, but either way. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts and all that. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there, stuff for the channel or talk to you there. If you'd like a link to the Discord server to talk to me or more of us about TOG or anything else, then just ask and I can give you a link. And yeah, there was something actually. And also, if you want to support on Patreon, keep it going week to week, patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. When I mentioned doing more webtoon stuff, I got like multiple comments telling me they want solo leveling before anything else. So yeah, if you want me to do what are they, like God of High School, Gosu, I think is the name of a popular one, or Noblesse, I've never really read. I've read like the first few chapters years ago and then never continued on with it. But it seems like solo leveling is the one people want me to hit first. So I'm thinking toward the beginning of next year. You know how for a while I did like alternating week to week, like one week I would do the Promised Neverland, the other week I'd do Beastars, one week I'd do Promised Neverland, other week I'd do Beastars, and I just went back and forth for like pretty much this year. That was 2019 until I caught up to both of them. I think I might do that next year. I don't know if I'll start in January or if I'll start in February. I might do that with the Boku no Hero Academia spin-off, Vigilantes, and then do that with solo leveling. So I might do some back and forth read-through videos for solo leveling and for My Hero Academia Vigilantes. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think I might do it like that, or I might do it as live streams, because that might be fun too. It just depends. I'm not 100% decided, but that's a possibility I'm throwing around in my head. Either way, just wanted to throw it here at the end of this video, keep y'all updated on what I'm thinking. So yeah, that's it. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.